Good evening. If you have a mobile, if you'd like to put it on silent, please, thank you. Right, massive welcome back to Lawrence Wright. Controversial as ever, with a two-part presentation. The first part covers free energy in use today. Whereabouts, you may ask? In plain sight, evidently. And part two, Lawrence steps up to put forward a strange history regarding humans, that of immense size and existing eons ago. He presents evidence that we have become progressively smaller through time. Please welcome Lawrence Wright.
Oh, you're right there, Alex. Right. Yeah. Thanks for coming tonight. Some of this stuff tonight, you'll probably think I've completely lost my mind because you're unlikely to have heard of it. One or two of you might have, but most of you will think he's lost it again. But don't forget, I was here 4 years ago talking about a flat Earth, and there was no flat Earthers in the audience, and there's probably quite a few now. So what we're going to be looking at today are free energy, electricity. The oil hoax, the crude oil hoax. You probably think that what you put in your motor cars come out of an oil in the ground in the middle of a desert somewhere or the middle of the North Sea, far from it. And when you go on your holidays to Mallorca, you probably think that the jet plane that you're flying on has got jet fuel in the aircraft to propel it. Far from it. And in part two, we're going to be looking at the clear evidence that this world that we're in, there has been a series of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, starting off with the Titans of Greek mythology. Yes, the Titans, they were real and you can actually see them. I've got some pictures of one or two of them. And also giant creatures, you know, the same sort of creatures that you've got today, but a gazillion times bigger. The giants, the biggest giants were 4 miles tall and weighed approximately 4.2 billion tons. Men like us, and women. And you probably think, that's a bit big, isn't it? But, you know, how big are we compared to an ant? Anyway, part two, we're going to look at the giants. So in the meantime, I've got a little quiz for you. I've got some quiz papers over here. I've got a nice little prize. I've got a box of my very own organic essential oils. There's 12 bottles of 10 ml of fabulous oils in a nice little rosewood carved box. And the one who gets the closest answer, I'll decide who's got the nearest answer, will win the oils. So on that front table, if somebody wants to grab the question sheet, you might need to borrow a pen off somebody. And the question is, how much would a giant that's 20 foot tall, 30 foot tall and 100 foot tall, these are small giants by the way, how much would they weigh? These giants, let's say they're not obese giants and they haven't been working out, they're just regular sort of guy giants, 20 foot, 30 foot and 100 foot. And then after the break, I'll tell you who's won it and you can come and collect your prize. So, pylons. Yeah, been around since the 1920s. I saw lots of them when I was driving up today. Has anybody drove their car under a pylon? Yeah, anybody? Yeah. Have you ever drove your car under a pylon with your radio on? What happens? It crackles a lot, doesn't it? Yeah. Or if you walk under one of these big pylons and you can hear them buzzing and fizzing away. So this is the conventional story that we're all told and school children are told as how the electricity gets into the system. You have a power station, you've got transformers that boost the voltage up to the high voltage, and then they boost it down in stages till it turns out you've got the 240 volts that come through your plug at home. I'm going to tell you tonight that what they're telling you there isn't strictly true, and the power stations at the start are just for show. They may have one or two that actually generate a little bit of power, but most of them are for show, and most of them have closed down. Probably 8 out of 10 power stations have closed down, and most people don't realise this. And so they've got dummy power stations. They just, you know, it looks like a power station, but hardly anybody works there, if anybody. Right, giants. Okay, let's look at the giants. Well, first of all, let's have a look at some of the... this is obviously anthropomorphic art. Does anybody know what that anthropomorphic art is? Just put the slideshow on and you can have a look. This is art done in the 16th and 17th century. People were doing paintings, and you know, it's like the landscape is made out of bodies. You have to sometimes turn these round to see the faces. You'll see the faces on some of them, you know. And you know, do we have any artists in the audience? Anybody an artist? Anybody? There's nobody paints here. Thought you were a creative lot. Come on, who paints? Not one person paints ever. Did you ever paint anything at school? Anybody? Put your hand up. Okay, and when you was at school, keep looking at that, keep looking, look at the faces. When you was at school, what did you paint?
Graffiti.
Yeah? What did you paint?
Flowers.
Did you paint what you saw? Yeah?
Not always.
Sometimes, right. Well, these people are painting what they saw. These big, you know, because this stuff is part of our landscape. These bloody big giants and their body parts are all over the bloody world. And people paint what they see. You know, unless it's something you create. If you paint something in your imagination, it usually has to have been something you've seen before. Unless you're inventing something totally brand new. And if you did, you'd be having a bit of a, you know, look at that, that's a map of the Queen.
Big cross in his chest.
And of course, these giants would be a lot more recognisable a few hundred years ago because, I mean, the official explanation for these giants, when we come on to them, is that it was caused by the erosion. Well, erosion wears them away. It doesn't create creatures and giants. It doesn't. So let's have a look. Okay, slideshow. Okay, giants. Talk about each one. Okay, so what you're looking at here is some kind of bones. Yeah, these are bones. Yeah, what's left of the bones? Like a finger bone, you know? You know, finger bone, something like that, or a toe bone, you know, remains of bones. Oh, by the way, all your artefacts like the pyramids and the Sphinx and Babylon and all this stuff that they find everywhere, this is recreated by man. If you go and watch somebody called Wise Up, you'll see that all these structures, they're made out of cheap material on the outside and something a bit more durable on the outside, and they've got rebar in. Rebar is this metal reinforcement that they put in with them. It has been because they've recreated the whole bloody timeline. Yeah, all the history prior to the 1700s is all frigging well made up. It's not real.
Some of the big
There we go.
statues in Asia.
Tell me, what do you see?
Looks like a boomerang.
It was a giant's boomerang. Yeah, giants had boomerangs. Okay, now let's read this. This is from Greek mythology. People think, oh, it's mythology, it can't be true, but people say the Bible. Yeah, that's just as much mythology as Greek mythology, isn't it? Anyway, let's talk about Uranus. However, Uranus was a cruel father and husband. He hated the Hecatocoethes and imprisoned them by pushing them into the hidden places of the earth. Gaia's womb. This angered Gaia, and she plotted against Uranus. She made a flint sickle, and tried to get her children to attack Uranus. All were too afraid, except the youngest son, Titan, Cronus. Cronus, time. Okay, he was the god of time. Gaia and Cronus set up an ambush of Uranus as he lay with Gaia at night. Cronus grabbed his father and castrated him with the sickle, throwing his severed genitals into the ocean. He chopped his balls and his dick off and he threw it into the ocean. Now these were titans, they could throw things for bloody hundreds of miles. Okay, so we'll come back to that later. We need to look in the ocean for a dick and some balls, right? That's what we're going to look for. If we can find it, those are the dick and balls of Uranus. Okay. What do you see? What do you see? Do you think erosion would cause this perfectly symmetrical, you know, creature? Hey, whatever it is. Do you want me to make these bigger?
Yeah, please.
All right. Okay. Yeah. It's got two eyes, mouth, legs, you know. Okay, what do you see? What do you see?
Could be a crocodile.
It's a crocodile, correct. Yeah, just the erosion just happened to carve out the shape of a crocodile for an island. Okay, what else do you see? Okay. What do you see? A dog. Yeah, a big dog. Yeah. Looks like one of those Scotty dogs, doesn't it? What do you see?
Dolphin.
It's an island, just happened to be in the shape of a dolphin. Okay. What do you see? Another dolphin. What do you see, folks? What do you see here? This is a good one. Come on, what do you see? What are you looking at there? You're looking at a big bird. It's an eagle. No, 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 that was erosion. The wind and the rain came out and carved the wings and the beak and the nose and the eyes. It was erosion. It wasn't an eagle once. Well, was it? Now, what are you looking at there, folks? Come on. What are you looking at? A mummy elephant and a baby elephant, yeah? Could that be anything else?
Not really.
Do you think that the wind and the rain would carve these elephants like that? Do you think they would? Well, that's the official explanation. Do you think they're lying to us? Right. So they're lying about our history. Let's have another look at the elephants from a different angle. This is a close-up of the elephant. What does that look like an elephant to you? Even the texture of the skin is a frigging elephant, isn't it? It's got the elephant's eye and the ears and the trunk. Let's have another look on a top-down of the elephant. Looking down on an elephant. What does that look like? An elephant and its baby. There we go, another picture of the same elephant from a different angle. Yeah, these are all over the world. Yeah? All right, I don't know whether I can twist this way around, but I don't know whether you see the face there. That's the face of a titan. Will this let me twist it? I don't know. Oh, never mind. All right, next one. Just twist your head round and you'll see the face.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you see? A fish. Right, these are footprints, okay? These are footprints. They're in Peru. I've got some other footprints as well. And I've measured them on Google Earth, and they're nearly 0.7 of a mile long. 0.7 of a mile. If you take someone's foot size, you can approximate their height. Somebody's got a foot that's 0.7 of a mile long, they're going to be 4 mile high. 4 mile high giant weighs 4.2 billion tonnes. Yeah? Rob knows it with a crunk. So here's your calculation, Rob. 4 miles high is just over 20,000 feet. 20,000 times 20,000 times 20,000, yeah? Work out that number. It'll give you the answer in pounds, yeah? So let's say I'm 6 foot, yeah? And I weigh 216 pounds, yeah? 6 times 6 is 36 times 6 is 216. So you multiply, you cube the height to work out the weight. That gives these giants weighing 4.2 billion tonnes. You can't work it out on a calculator. It comes up E. It's too big a number, so you've got to mess around. So what I do is I take the first number, divide it by a tonne, 22440 pounds, and then multiply it through, and that gives you 4.2 billion tonnes. Okay. Now what have you got here? What's this? It's a bit small, isn't it? What is that? Looks a bit like a frog, doesn't it? It's a bit of a bad picture, that one. Now what does that look like? Does that look like a man's head? You know, shape? Head, shoulders. Next one. Oh, I don't want that. Okay, now this, look at that. This is in Thailand. Yeah, there's a Disney film called Mona. Yeah, it's exactly the same as this. If you turn your head down, head, shoulders, hips. Yeah, that is a woman, giant, titan. Yeah, look at the ocean.
Like the sleeping Buddha.
Okay, this is another giant's footprint, or what's left of the giant's foot. That also is exactly the same as the one in Nigeria. It's 0.7 of a mile long. Okay, what are you looking at there? What is that? Come on, 3 guesses. What does that look like to you? It was caused by erosion, that was. It's erosion. It just happened to erode the exact shape of a hand. Oh, what's this? That's a giant's knife, isn't it? I don't. That could be a hoax. I don't know whether. Okay, what are you looking at here? Let me make that bigger. A dragon. Yeah. And of course, these would have looked, you know, more detailed when they've been less eroded. When you erode it, the features wear away. But you can quite clearly see the head and the back and the tail. What does that look like?